Okay. Alrighty, I'm the decision time. Which one shall I use? Okay, I think we're gonna just use, we'll use that one right there. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with our practice. Well, good morning everybody and welcome to Power Yoga. I'm so glad that we're able to do this today and able to just share our practice together. I'm always grateful for this time that we get to share, and I look forward to sharing this practice with all of you today. I hope you find something that connects directly with what your practice is looking for today. If you're following along on the yoga playlist, I'm doing number 19 today, yoga number 19. So go ahead and get that started. And we're going to start right here in a seated position. And we're just going to get started real quickly here. We'll just start moving our bodies, okay? So we'll start by connecting movements and breath. As we initially find that seated position, let's first find that nice tall posture and get a nice, good, comfortable spot. And then we'll bring our hands to heart center. And with connecting movement and breath, we're going to just aim for that nice deep inhale and exhale. So let's fan our arms up nice and high. Nice big inhale up into the sky, and then exhale as we bring those hands right back together and exhale right back to our heart center. Let's do that 4 more times. Practicing that deep inhale and exhale and starting to develop and practice that yoga breath. Our practice is just that today. It's allowing ourselves the permission to practice, allowing ourselves to permission to experiment, explore, and to move freely. Not so much worrying about today what's going wrong, as opposed to just marveling at perhaps what's going right. What's going right? What do we have that we are blessed with? What are we grateful for? Where can we seek throughout our lives right now things that are not broken and going well? Let's add some gentle twists now. Inhale, and then exhale and turn to the left, staying nice and tall through the crown of our head and our tailbone. Inhale, nice and high, and exhale to the side. Good. Inhale, reach forward, and exhale. Nice. And just continue to add that nice gentle twist, starting to just loosen up through our spine a little bit. Good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Give me one more time on each side, once to the left and once to the right. Good. We'll come right back to center. Let's grab onto the front of our shins, and we're going to do a little cat and cow from a seated position. So in our first inhale, we're going to look up. We're going to arch our back on the inhale. And get that nice cow position right there, even pulling a little bit on those knees or those shins. And then as we exhale, we look down, round our spine, tuck our tailbone under, and even just lean back as if we're trying to draw our spine towards the back of the room, even pulling on the front of those shins to get a stretch through those shoulders. Let's continue to do that with our breath. Inhale, and look up. Deep breath. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as we're looking up. Exhale, separate those shoulder blades from each other and get that stretch between those shoulder blades. Keep on going through this. Inhale and exhale in this seated cat and cow. Maybe I should rename it to call it lazy cat and cow, the seated cat version of cat and cow. That would be a good name for it, wouldn't it? Here we are. Good. Give me that a couple more times as we inhale and exhale. Again, thinking about those shoulder blades as they're going toward each other and away from each other. It's more than just loosening up through our hips. How about one more time on the inhale and one more time on the exhale. Good. And then as we move freely, we're just going to rock side to side. Just rock side to side and sweep the arms. Exhale as we sweep to the front, and inhale and sweep overhead with those arms. Just allow yourself to move freely and sweep that back hand, that top hand up overhead, thinking about those biceps coming towards the ears, stretching through the shoulders and in to those ribs. Just a little rock side to side, swooping forward, and just a little bit of a side bend. Good. Let's do one more time each side. Nice and gentle. There we are. Good. Coming right back to our heart center, let's rest our hands onto our laps and just start working those shoulders in circles. Lifting those shoulders up toward our ears and dropping them down and away from our ears. Pick any direction on those circles. And just allow the shoulders to do the work. Avoid the hands pressing into the legs here. Just rest those hands there. Go ahead and switch directions on those shoulder circles. Very nice. Let's dig in deeper to the neck and the shoulders. Bring your right hand behind your back and grab on to that right wrist with your left hand and pull it through. Make a wing on the left. Exhale the chin to our chest and our left ear to left shoulder, and then breathe, relaxing in the jaw and creating space between your teeth as you get a deeper stretch into your neck and your shoulder on the right side. For some reason, this stretch just forces me to close my eyes for some reason. I don't know what it is about this stretch, but it's like a trigger. It's like a natural trigger to just, there we go, just close my eyes, get into that stretch. Excellent. Take a nice big inhale here and then exhale. We'll go ahead and switch onto the other side. Good. Right hand grabs that left wrist, pull it through, make a wing on the left exhale, chin to our chest, and right ear, right shoulder. Nice deep stretch in through the neck and the shoulders. I like to rock a little bit. Again, it's just a natural intuition to just rock and close my eyes in this one. I have no idea why, it just seems to happen that way. All right, as we release, let's bring our hands back and just rest them on our laps and then just start rocking our chin. Exhale to our chest and then right ear, right shoulder, and then bring it right back to center and inhale to the center. Exhale as we go side to side. And just when we go side to side and forward, try to avoid going back with that neck, just to help kind of get that little dynamic motion, keep that neck nice and loosened up. There we are. One more time each direction. Really sinking in to that neck. Outstanding. All right. Let's bring our feet out in front, just onto the ground, or maybe heels down and toes up, and just a little bit of a windshield wiper of our knees here, going side to side. So begin to loosen up our hips a little bit. Good. Just pressing side to side, maybe lifting that top hip a little bit more, pressing in to those feet just a little bit extra. All right. And then to engage our core, we can stay right here with our hands back, leaning on our hands, or we lift up those hands and just use the legs. Just use the legs side to side, side to side. And that will get our core activated as we do this. Woo, there we go. How about one more time, each direction. Okay, right back to that seated position. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come over the top and we're going to lay all the way down on our mats. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see where we're at. So let's initially just lay all the way down. Lowering down, there we go. And with our hands just right here at our shoulders, let's think about first our elbows going toward each other and shoulder blades squeezing toward each other, and then begin peeling our chin, our chest, and our shoulders up off the mat. Just lifting a little bit, not going too far. We're just getting that lower back engaged. We're just getting it warmed up. Let's exhale and release down. Tap that chin onto your mat. Let's do that again. This time maybe a little bit higher. Breathe in, and then once you get that position, breathe naturally. Keep thinking about those elbows and shoulders squeezing toward each other, engaging right up top and into the middle of our back. Good. Exhale and release on down. One more time. One more time as we lift maybe a little bit higher, really thinking about that lower back now. Really thinking about that lower back as we engage. And now we're feeling some arms, aren't we? Squeeze those elbows together and those shoulders. Excellent. Let's come on down and exhale. We're getting a little swimming motion now. So we're going to bring our hands way out in front, thumbs down towards the ground, and then sweep those hands back. I lifted my feet up off the ground as well. As I sweep my hands back towards my hips, my shoulders, my chest, my chin lift even higher off the mat, and yours should too. Just try to feel that. As an option, keep the feet down, otherwise squeeze through the glutes as we connect that space between our shoulder blades into our lower back and into our glutes. Good. Give me about 2 more right here. Big swim stroke, sweep those arms back. Good, engaging the front core as well. Awesome. Let's set those hands right back down by those shoulders. Little hips toward the heels, child's pose. Good. In child's pose, I normally don't guide in child's pose, just bring those hips back. But typically those knees come out to the edges of our mat, feet maybe come in, side those knees, and then again we sit those hips back by our heels and just walk those arms forward, trying to bring our ears between those biceps to get a nice stretch. A nice stretch. Good. From this child's pose, allow ourselves to just connect with our practice. Set our intention for our practice. Think about what we want to leave with our practice today. And allow ourselves to reconnect back with that 3-part breath. From this center position, let's walk both hands over to the left corner of our mats. And then sit back, our right hip into our heel for an angled child's pose. And breathe into that right side, expanding the ribs on the right down. And feel that side of our body to our shoulder and ribs and down to our hips. Big deep breath now, so that we stretch from the inside out and expand those ribs with our lungs. Exhale back to center. Good. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, walk those hands over to the right corner of our mat and sit back into this angled child's pose. Once you get there, breathe deeply. Expand those ribs. There's muscles between our ribs, and our lungs will help to stretch those. So we're stretching our body from the inside out using our breath. Very nice. Let's exhale back to center, staying right in this position. We're going to take that right hand and we're going to thread the needle, bring that right hand underneath our left armpit, and just nice gentle stretch on the top of our right shoulder. Allowing the side of our head, our right side of our head, to just gently rest onto our mats. And if we want to add a little twist to this, just note how it feels on your neck and press that bottom arm, that right arm into the mat just a little bit, and bring your left hand onto your tailbone. Just rest it there, back of the hand, and just try to open up your shoulders up toward the ceiling. A little twist. You can even just raise that left hand up toward the sky for a little rotation. Still breathing freely. Every posture we get in, we should still find that free-flowing nature of that breath. That's our body's way, that's our breath's way of saying we're in the right spot today for our own body. Let's come back with both hands, and now take that left hand and thread the needle, bring it under that right armpit. Gentle stretch on the top of that left shoulder as we gently set the side of our head down onto our mats. And then deliberately thinking about pushing the back of that left hand in and that arm, being mindful of our neck as we float that right hand either to our tailbone or up toward the sky for a little rotation. Get a nice deliberate focus on that breath that's still free flowing. That breath is the core. It's the foundation of our practice, and everything that we do, we apply the breath to, and that's how we make it yoga. Good. Back in front and center, child's pose. Child's pose. Excellent. From this child's pose, it's time to get moving a little bit more. So let's curl those toes. Let's spread those fingers out nice and wide and find high plank position. Good. High plank position. Shoulders hovering right above those wrists, even slightly in front of those wrists. Curling those toes, nice long body, and just lengthen your body from your ears through your shoulders, through your hips and knees and heels. Even tucking that tailbone in just a little bit so we engage our core. Rolling the hips just slightly forward towards your belly button. Take a nice big inhale here. And on the exhale, lift our hips up toward the sky. Bring our ears between our arms and relax those arches as we lift and lengthen. Lift and lengthen. Thinking about the length from the crown of our head through to our tailbone here. As those ears continue to stay right between those arms. That tailbone lift into the sky as if there's a little string attached to our tailbone, lifting us just a little bit more. And as we do that, we feel that deep stretch through our hamstrings and even down through our calves and heels and our arches. Take another nice couple breaths right here in down dog. It always feels relaxing to get in a down dog for me. I don't know if it feels like that for you, but for me it's always like, yeah, this feels right. This feels right. Take a nice big inhale and step forward towards the front of our mats. Exhale, bend those knees and sweep those hands up nice and tall, right back to our heart center on the exhale. Good. We've got several variations of sun A's that we're going to go through today. So we're going to inhale up nice and tall and exhale and forward fold down. Inhale up to a flat back, drape those hands across those shins, rest below those knees, long spine, nice dynamic body here. On the exhale, set those hands down, press back to plank position. Take a nice big inhale here, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. On the inhale, look forward and step forward. Exhale and bend those knees. Inhale, sweep up nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. Let's do about 3 more of those. Inhale up, and exhale, fold down. Inhale up to that flat back, exhale, hands down, press back to plank. Good, a little inhale, maybe rock forward this time, and then exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward, exhale, bend those knees, and inhale, reversing that swan dive reach, nice and high through those fingertips. Exhale, right back to heart center. Let's keep going, inhale up, and exhale on down. Inhale up to flat back, and exhale, bring it on back to plank. Inhale, little rock forward, exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Rest those arches. Inhale as we step or hop forward. Exhale into those knees and sweep up nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. Inhale, reach for it, and exhale, come down. Inhale, up, flat back, and exhale, step it back to plank. Well, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. And our next inhale, step forward, sink into those legs and sweep up nice and tall. Exhale to heart center. Good. Let's add a runner's lunge and a twisted low lunge this time. As we inhale up, exhale and forward fold. Inhale up to flat back, and exhale, step the left foot back only. Left foot back only. Good. From here, inhale that right hand up toward the sky, twisted low lunge, and then exhale, bring the hand down, same exhale, press back to downward facing dog. On the inhale, step that left foot over or forward only, and that same inhale, we'll get it next time, lift that left hand up. Exhale that hand down, then inhale, step forward, sink into those legs. Exhale and inhale, sweep up, exhaling right back to heart center. Let's do that again, other side. Inhale up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale up, flat back, and exhale, bring that right foot back only, that right foot back only. And next inhale, take that left hand up to the sky, exhale, hand down, same exhale to downward facing dog. On the inhale, step forward, same inhale, lift that right hand to the sky, exhale, that right hand down. Let's inhale, step forward, exhale, bend those knees, and inhale, sweep up, nice and tall. There we go. Let's do one more time each side. Inhale, reach forwards, and exhale, on down. Inhale, up to flat back, exhale, left foot back only. Good. Take a nice big inhale, reach the hand to the sky, exhale, bring it down, same exhale to our down dog. Good, inhale, step that left foot forward, same inhale, left hand up. Exhale, that left hand down, and inhale, step both feet forward. Exhale, bend those knees, and inhale, sweep up nice and tall, right back to heart center. One more time, inhale, reach forward, and exhale, and fold. Inhale, up to flat back, exhale, right foot back only. Good. Next inhale, take that left hand, reach it up to the sky. Exhale, bring that hand down, same exhale, press back to down dog. Good. Inhale, step that right foot forward, same inhale, bring that right hand to the sky. and exhale. That hand down, inhale as we step forward. And exhale, bend those knees, sweep up nice and tall. Right back to heart center. Good. Let's go on with the full sun A now. I'm going to just turn to the side for a moment here. Inhale up and exhale and fold down. Inhale up to that flat back and exhale, let's step back to plank position, both feet. On our next inhale, we rock forward, shoulders in front of those fingertips. Choice here, either stay on those toes or come to our knees for a half push-up. And then inhale, look up, either cobra still on our knees or upward facing dog on the shoelace side of our feet. Next exhale, we press back and lift those hips, downward facing dog. On the inhale, we look forward and step forward. Exhale, bend those knees and sweep up nice and tall. Exhaling right back to heart center. 3 more, just like that, your own pace. Inhale up and exhale, fold. Inhale up to flat back and exhale, step on back to plank. Inhale, a little rock forward. Exhale, that half push-up, or on our knees or toes, that's your choice, or cobra and upward dog, again, your choice. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step or hop forward, and sink into those legs, sweep up, nice and tall. Exhale to heart center. Continuing on, couple more. Inhale, reach for it, and exhale, come on down. Inhale, up, flat back, and exhale, step it back. Little rock and roll forward on that inhale, exhale, that half push-up. Remember, you can do any variation of what I've already showed to get right back to downward dog. Inhale as we step or hop forward, sink into those legs, exhale, and sweep up nice and tall, right back to heart center again. Keep going as we reach for it. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, up, flat back, and exhale, step it back. Good. Inhale, rock and roll. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift up, and exhale to down dog. Inhale as we step or hop forward, sink into those legs, sweep up nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. Let's do just one more, and we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale and then exhale down. Inhale up, flat back, and exhale, press it back. Whichever vinyasa flow you have chosen, we'll all just meet back in downward facing dog, staying right there. Good. From downward dog, take a nice big inhale and let it out. That nice long exhale, maybe even an audible exhale out of the mouth like an ujjayi breath. Maybe a big in, and then releasing like we're fogging up the mirror. Good. From this downward dog, let's take that right heel and float it up toward the sky. Put a little bend in our knee and open our hip. Excellent. Get a nice stretch on that right side. Both strong arms here. Still thinking about the length from the crown of our head to our tailbone and those strong hands, ears between those arms. As we bring that right foot forward, set it between our hands, gluing that left foot on the ground. And then find Warrior One pose. Good. All right, Warrior One pose. Front knee towards those pinky toes. Both feet on the ground, heels to toes, and that left foot just pointing out at an angle to the left side. Arms up with shoulders rolled down and away from our ears, relaxing into that position. Standing nice and tall, but nice and strong. We got that strong warrior foundation on those legs. Sinking in and just trying to notice that deep stretch into our hip flexors, into our quad, and make sure it feels good on our knees and our ankles. Okay. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale. Come on down, press back to plank position. Let's do another vinyasa flow. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift up and exhale. Press back, downward facing dog. From downward dog, take that left heel, float it up to the sky, put a bend in the knee and open the hip. Think about those strong arms. Every time we typically get into one of these bent knees and open hips, one of those arms wants to soften and put a deeper bend. Try to keep those arms nice and strong. Holding that leg up there for just a little bit longer. Hold and squeeze and drive that left foot to the right side. And then we're going to gently bring that left leg forward, that left foot, and set it between our hands, or grab that foot and move it between our hands. Glue that right foot down. Come on up. Warrior One pose. Warrior One pose. And deep bend in that left knee. Pointing towards our pinky toes. Just watch where that left knee is at. You should be able to look down and see those toes. If you can't see those toes, if you see your pinky toe, that means your knees come into the inside. If we're seeing our big toe, that means it's going to the outside, and it's good. That helps protect your knee. So don't see your pinky toes. Okay, hide those pinky toes. Okay, take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, hands down, press back to plank position. Another vinyasa flow. Here we go. All right, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. From downward dog, float that right heel up nice and high. And then go ahead and bring it through. We're going to find crescent pose. Right foot forward and left foot back. But that back heel is up off the ground. I'll turn to the side so you can see what I mean. Just driving through, keeping that back heel up. We're not flattening that foot. Okay, if you need a little bit more stability, just broaden your stance. Make those feet a little bit wider. Okay. Arms up, shoulders rolled down away from our ears. Let's open our hearts to the sky just a little bit. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as we arch our back. Remember that cow position we got in earlier. All right, a little squeeze, strengthening up top and lengthening up top and challenging our stability on those feet. Bring those arms back to neutral position. And we'll take that right hand and just rest it on our tailbone as we reach our left hand up to a little bit higher up toward the sky for a side bend. Just thinking about our hip moving to the left side. Okay, almost as if we're trying to press our left hip towards the left wall. Really sinking into that left hip flexor and top of that left leg. Softening through that arch. Very nice. Coming right back to neutral, arms crescent pose yet again. And let's bring those hands together and point them straight forward. Sitting right here in that bent knee, we're going to take our right hand only. Inhale and open up and turn to the right. Exhale, right back to center. Give me that 4 more times. Inhale, stay tall, crown of your head to your tailbone. Exhale, right back front and center. Little rotational, little twist. Getting it going is good for our balance, and it's good for our spine health. Once we're done with a total of 5 here, we're going to do a couple on the other side. So those hands forward, keep that back heel up as we inhale, open up, facing the left and back. Good, give me 2 more. Awesome. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. And on that 4th one, complete that full rotation, drop that back heel to the ground and find Warrior 2. Warrior 2. Good. All right, I'm going to just turn to the side. You stay right where you're at. Awesome. So from Warrior 2, there we are. Feeling good, looking good now. Let's find Reverse Warrior. Exhale, flip that front hand, inhale, lift that front hand to the sky. Back hand rests on our leg or our tailbone or wraps completely around our waist. Thinking about that front knee, making sure it's still going towards our pinky toes, and we're still finding that depth to where that knee is hovering above the ankles and supported by those ankles. Nice length from our fingertips through our ribs, down to our hips, good stretch, and then engage that glute muscle to press our hips forward on that left side. Awesome. Let's find right angle pose. So we take a nice big inhale and we'll exhale as we bring that right forearm to the top of the right leg, back hand to the hip or up toward the sky. If you want, extend that right angle bicep to the ear. Keeping that depth on that front knee. Good. Breathe. Breathe. And still ensure that that breath is free flowing. If we find it's constrained in any way, we seek a way to find that free flowing nature of the breath, which means maybe ease back, maybe lift higher, maybe do some things that will challenge our ego, and that's okay. All right, exhale back to Warrior 2. That front leg's probably burning. I can feel something there. Lengthen it. There we go. Still a soft bend in that knee. Breathe in nice and big, fill those lungs. Exhale, reach as far as you can. Forward as your hips go in the opposite direction. Then tip over, triangle pose. There we go. That's it. See, I just reach forward. I didn't do anything special. I just move those arms. Good. So I'm resting that right hand above or below my knee on that leg. If my block wasn't way over there and I didn't have to be a contortionist, then I could probably set my hand on that block. Okay, or just bend my knee, come out. There we go. Sometimes that block has a mind of its own. Here we are. So key thing here, just stack through those shoulders, stack through those ribs, and lift through the hip. Maybe a physical kind of indicator to tell whether you're in the right spot for your body. If you feel nothing up top, if you don't feel a stretch through the ribs and down through the hips, chances are you're closing down. You're closing down. Your heart is pointing more towards the ground, okay, versus the side and lifting up. So if you want to feel a little bit more and get your body in perhaps a safer or better position, then try to feel something up top on the left side of your body. Excellent. Let's come back to Warrior Two on the exhale, and then we'll just cartwheel those arms around and down, step back to plank position. Let's go through a vinyasa flow, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Let's continue on. Here we go. From that downward facing dog position, take that left foot, float it up nice and high into the sky. Go ahead and bring it through front of our mat. Crescent pose, left foot forward, right foot back. Awesome. Deep bend in that knee toward our toes. Everything squared up to the front. And then let's open that heart. Squeeze those shoulder blades again. Back toward each other. Arch our lower back. Lift our heart a little bit higher. Soften through that right arch. Let that heel just naturally find its place. Good. We'll come back to just normal crescent arms. And we'll take that left hand, just rest it on our tailbone, reach that right hand higher, and press our hips to the right side for a side bend. Whew. All right. I'm feeling my body wobble side to side, digging those feet in, really challenging my balance. It's okay to wobble and stumble. It's why we call it a practice. And as we talked about yesterday, practice allows us to have that permission. To create that permission, come back to center, bring our hands together, and then face them forward. Good. Inhale and turn towards the left. Gives us the permission to fail. It gives us permission to do things perhaps not perfect. And that's okay. Because when we allow ourselves to do that, we create the conditions for our own success. Think about that. If we're afraid to fail, if we're afraid to do things, if we're afraid to wobble out of these and not try in the first place, then we don't even try in the first place. And we'll never get to that point then where we find the comforts in the rest in each pose. Let's turn to the other way. Inhale, right hand. Face the rights and back. Give me two more. Give me two more. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And then this one, open all the way up. Drop that right heel down. Find Warrior Two. Excellent. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that. Very nice. All right. Nice, strong Warrior Two stance. Good posture here. Ears over shoulders over hips. Let's find reverse warrior. Exhale, flip that front hand. Inhale, lift it up toward the sky. Reach nice and high. There we go. Create that space on the front side of our body. Squeeze that right glute and engage that muscle. Pressing our hips forward. Keeping everything engaged. From our fingertips reaching higher to our toes. Grabbing into our mat. That's right. Good. From here, right angle pose. Breathe in, reach even higher. And then exhale, left forearm to the top of the leg. Backhand to the sky. It can also be to the hip or overhead. Creating that length. Creating that length and extended right angle. You can always go to the inside part of the leg there. Go even deeper to the ground or to the block. Okay. So you have options to make it work the best way for you. As long as you're finding that right alignment, as long as that breath is still feeling good, as long as that posture feels good on your body. As we exhale back to Warrior Two, that left leg is probably starting to talk to us a little bit. It's probably not sharing sweet nothings. It's probably sharing cruel somethings, right? I don't even know if that's a thing, but let's go ahead and lengthen that leg. Good. Take a nice breathe, big, deep breath in, and then exhale, reach forward as far as we can. Again, hips going in the opposite direction. And when you can reach no further, all we do is tip those arms. That's it. That's it. That's our triangle pose. There's nothing more to it. It's as easy and as difficult as that. All right. Good. Stretching and stacking up top. Feeling a nice stretch through those legs. We got the strength through those legs. Think about your heels drawing toward each other. Your heels drawing toward each other. And we'll squeeze in that mat without those feet even moving on the mat down below. And you can see my left hand here. It's just not really, there's no support going on here because I'm engaging my core. Okay, so I'm not putting all my weight on that arm and then pressing on my leg. It's just there kind of as a prop, somewhere to put the hand. In the absence of, I don't know what to do with it. Okay, all right. Well, exhale back to warrior two. Cartwheel around and down. Come back to plank position. Let's go through another vinyasa flow. Okay. Another vinyasa flow. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. From downward dog, we float that right foot up toward the sky. Bring it up nice and high. Again, bring that right foot through and still find crescent pose. Crescent pose, that back heel staying up still. Again, hips and shoulders squared up to the front. To the front. Okay, all right. Very nice. We're going to add a little bit of a dynamic and ask a little bit more of the legs now. As we exhale, bring those hands and sweep them under the knees. Squeeze those abs as if we're almost resting our ribs on top of that leg. And then inhale, sweep the hands up nice and tall. Do that again 4 more times. Exhale, forward under the knee. You can always certainly go above the knee too if that's what's in the cards for you today. Exhale and inhale. Awesome. Keep going. Exhale and inhale. Again, try to feel that connection. Ribs to the top of the quads. Engage the core for that stability. Give me 2 more. 2 more. Excellent. Stay right up here. Bring those hands up nice and high, and then together, bring those hands to heart center. We're going to lean forward, bring that left elbow now to the outside of that right knee as we rotate and twist. First, thinking about the length of our spine, then the rotation. Once we get in that rotation, think about those hands. Each fingertip pressing against each other, and then the palms of our hands pressing toward each other, and those inside knuckles. Nice dynamic hands pushing towards each other so we can keep those hands toward our heart center. Okay, we can always reduce the range of motion if we find that this is just a little bit too much for where we need to be. Go ahead and just adjust to make it work the best way for you. Breathe. Good. A lot of energy on that front leg, a lot of energy through those hands. We're finding our way. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale. Let's find crescent pose. Good. We're going to lengthen that front leg now and step that back foot in. Heel to toe on the ground there. Lengthen our spine as we square up hips and shoulders. Pyramid pose. Hinge to the hips. Come down nice and slow. Just walk down that leg. Keep those shoulders intact and those hips forward. Good. Then we'll find our restful nature of the pose, either by resting our hands on the block, on the legs, or fingertips to the ground. And once we found that spot that best works for us, feel free to drop the crown of your head and round through your spine and find that restful nature of this pose. Settle in, settle in. We're just trying to feel something without overdoing it. Just trying to feel something without pushing our bodies beyond their limits. It's a gentle stretch that prescribes to caring for our bodies versus trying to go beyond and create pain in our bodies. So find that delicate balance. And the only way to do that is to really be right here in the moment and be present. To be focused on where we're at and what we're doing right now. We're going to move to twisted triangles. That left hand's going to stabilize on the ground or block. Inhale that right hand up toward the sky. You can also bring it to your hip if it bothers the shoulder. Still finding that free-flowing nature of the breath, but a deeply intense stretch here on that right side, outside of that leg and in through the hip. And that breath is still guiding our way. That breath is still our foundation. So we exhale, both hands down. Let's step back to plank position. Vinyasa flow, and we'll be back in downward facing dog. Very nice. From downward dog, float that left heel up nice and high. And then exhale, bring that left foot through, crescent pose, left side. There we are. Deep bend in that knee, hips and shoulders still square. All right, we have that stability, we have that strength. We're going to challenge that stability right now as we lean forward. Exhale and bring those hands under the knee or on top of the knee as optional. Sweep those hands right back up. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, lift. Keep going. Keep going. Those legs are solid. They're not even moving. The only thing that's hinging is through our hips, engaging everything through our core. Good. One more time. And then inhale. Those hands up. Bring those hands together. And right to heart center. We'll find the twist on the left side. We'll rock forward. Lengthen our spine. Then that right elbow comes to the outside of that left leg. Press those hands together. Dynamic tension as we press and try to keep those hands near our heart center. Just settling in here. Calm the body, calm the mind. We've got this. We can do this. Take 2 more breaths. And then as we exhale, come back to center. Crescent pose. Lengthen that front leg. Step forward. Heel the toes on the ground. Square up hips and shoulders. Breathe in nice and tall and hinge. Walk down that leg. Find pyramid pose. Again, when you find pyramid on this side, designed for this side, and just settle in, rest in, drop the crown of the head round to the spine. Let's take one more breath here. One more breath here. Very nice. And then stabilize that right hand, ground or the block. Left hand floats up toward the hip or sky. Reach nice and high. Twisted triangle, back heel stand on the ground. Good deep breaths here. And this is one of those poses that really challenges the depth of our breath. Really challenges how deeply we get into this pose. As we exhale, bring both hands down. Let's step back to plank position. Got another series, here we go. Exhale, little vinyasa flow, inhale up and exhale, press back to downward dog. Take that right heel, float it up toward the sky. Good. And then step that right foot forward, then that left foot forward. And then exhale, chair pose. Chair pose. Thumbs up toward the sky or hands together and at heart center. Feet and knees together or separated, totally up to you. I'm gonna go separated on this first one, which just revealed that maybe there's 2. Probably. Yeah, and then a little twisted chair, left elbow to the outside of that right knee. Same idea as that twisted prayer. Press those hands toward each other. Okay, if you want a little something extra, extend those hands. One up toward the sky and one to the ground. You can use that block with that hand on the ground. Good. As we come back, front and center into that chair. Step only the left leg back. Lengthen that leg and find crescent pose. All right. From here, a little lunge and kick. I'm going to turn to the side to show you this. Okay, from this lunge position, we're just going to kick forward and right back to that crescent lunge. Okay? So give me 5 of those at your own pace. On that 5th one, I'm going to turn back to the front. We're going to hold that foot out front. Hold that foot out front. Either leg extended, left hand to the outside of that knee, or toe lock, hand to toe. Hand to toe. Keep the left hand towards that left toe. You can extend that right hand out to the side, and then externally rotate that left hip. Either that hand is still on the outside of that left knee. You can bring it to the inside of the left knee. That knee can be bent or straight or extended out. Good. Bring it back, front and center. And do what we can to not set that left foot down. We're going to find 3-point balance. We're going to release, bring that left leg, float it back, hands down to the ground. 3-point balance. From here, finding half moon pose. Right hand stabilizes on the ground or the block, and left hand lifts up toward the sky. Nice and high. Whew. There we go. And just thinking about stacking shoulders and ribs and hips this time, and creating a straight line from your fingertip to your fingertips and the crown of your head through to your heel. Twisted half moon, keep that left leg up off the ground. Bring both hands down, back to 3-point balance. Right hand up to the sky. Hip or sky. And breathe. That back leg still hovering. Doesn't matter how high or low it is. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. Exhale. Both hands down. And then press back to plank position. About one more vinyasa flow. I need that block back. Hello. All right, vinyasa flow. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Whew, all right. Good, from here, left foot floats up toward the sky. You're gonna bring that left foot forward, step that right foot forward along right beside it. Chair pose. Here we go. Hands to heart center or thumbs up. I'm going to bring my feet and knees together this time. Chair pose. And then twisted chair, hands to heart center, right elbow to the outside of that left leg. Again, think about the length of your spine as we rotate. Arms can be right there. You can lift higher and reduce the range of motion, or extend those arms top to bottom. My chair almost tipped over. It happens. All right. As we exhale and come back, front and center. Left leg stays forward, right leg steps back. Crescent pose. Crescent pose. All right. Or crescent lunge, because from this lunge, we're going to kick forward 5 times. Here we go. Kick, boom, and control setting that right foot down. It's like my foot's coming right into the screen, right? Boom. Total of 5 right here. And on that 5th one, we're going to hold that leg forward, either knee bent or foot forward, holding the right hand to the outside or bind on that toe. All right. And then we'll externally rotate that leg. Hand comes to the inside of the knee if you're holding there. That gets that heart rate going. Coming right back front and center. Doing our best to not set that right leg down. Come back to 3-point balance. Both hands to the ground, right leg stays off the ground. half moon pose. I'm going to turn to the side to show you that. Half moon pose. Left hand down, right hand up toward the sky. And again, stack shoulder to shoulder. Point those toes toward our shins on that right foot. So we have a long line from the crown of our head through to our heel. We'll move towards twisted half, keeping that right leg up, both hands down initially, and then left hand up toward the sky. We can exhale both hands down. We're going to step both feet beside each other. Good. We'll sweep those hands up nice and tall. And exhale to heart center. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Let's challenge our balance just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's bring our feet and knees together. Inhale, both hands up. Good. And then just exhale the right hand down. Pressing our hips on the left side as we look at those left fingertips. Keep pressing our hips on the left side and shift all your body weights into the left foot. Good side bend here as we press in. And once we're comfortable with all of our body weights into our left foot, begin floating that right heel up off the ground and lifting it up towards the right side. Continuing to press towards the left. Keep that side bend happening. Drive and lift that right heel to the right side. A little squeeze through the glute and external obliques on that side. Exhale, release everything down. Shake it out. Good. Inhale, nice and tall. Again, feet and knees together. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, left hand down only. Look at those right fingertips. Press our hips to the right side and reach nice and high. And continuing to look up at those fingertips as we shift our hips to the right, weight of our body placed in that right foot. Once we're comfortable, all the weight's right there, begin lifting that left heel straight out to the side, up off the mat, up off the ground, lift, squeeze through the glute. All sorts of activity going on in that right leg right now. Exhale, both feet down on the ground. Very nice. Let's go ahead and find a seated position. Let's go ahead and find a seated position. All right. From this seated position, right leg forward, left leg bent. I'll just turn slightly to the side so we can see that perhaps a little better. Toes toward the shins right here. Inhale up nice and tall and exhale, forward fold. For a single leg forward fold. Reach as far as you can. And then stabilize once you found that spot, when you can reach no further. So we're just finding that stretch with our own body's ability, without grabbing onto anything. That's why we reach as far as we can and stabilize. But then our body gives us the ability to sink in even deeper into this pose by using our exhales. So you notice with your inhales, you'll feel a little bit lighter, feel like you're lifting a little bit more, and your exhales kind of softening. Allow the exhales. So the exhales just naturally soften through our joints and our muscles to allow us to sink in even deeper into these stretches. So on the exhales, find a little bit more. Find a little bit more. All right. From here, we'll exhale and release. Let's take that left ankle, bring it above that right knee, toes toward the shins, on this left foot, hands to the side, and place a bend into that right knee. Some of you saw an example of this yesterday. Seated pigeon pose, but we're not going to stay here very long. You're welcome to stay right here. If you want something a little bit different, we're going to cradle the baby. So we're going to set the pinky toe side of our foot into the eye of our elbow. Just wrap that elbow around that foot and take the other eye of the elbow and wrap it to the outside of our left knee. Interlocking those fingers, and then hold on to the leg. Sitting nice and tall, drawing your heart to the leg and the leg to the heart to give ourselves a deeper stretch. Now you see I curled my right leg underneath, because eventually we're going to set that baby down on top of that leg for double pigeon. We'll take another 2 breaths right here. Okay, if you're still in this position right here, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to show an option in just a moment. Okay. So as we go ahead and set this baby down, let's make sure that pinky toe side of our foot is hanging off the edge of that right knee. And just go ahead and set that leg down. Now the legs are going to be stacked like fire logs. That's what this pose is called. Fire logs or double pigeon. But if you're in that other position and it doesn't feel good, keep that knee up and come into just a little bit of a twist here. Otherwise, in that fire log position, sit nice and tall, breathe in. And again, on the exhale, use that exhale to find a little bit more. Lean forward. I also like to take the block and just place it under my left knee. Just gives me a little target to press into, but a little support as well, just so I know I'm not going beyond where my body needs to be today. Deep stretch on that left side. Hope you feel that. Into the hips, into the glutes. And using the power of that breath, using the engagement of that breath, the relaxing nature of our exhales to sink in just a little bit more, to just find maybe just a little bit more out of this. Of course, we're not trying to go overboard. We're allowing our body to go where it's going to go today. Not trying to problem solve, not trying to fix anything, just discovering what's already not broken. Finding the appreciation for what's already not broken. What's going right? What are we grateful for right now? Exhale and release. Good. Left leg extends, right leg bends. There we are. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, reach as far forward as your body will reach. And then we stabilize. Don't force it. And then use that breath to find a little bit more. Inhale on the left and exhale, sink in as the body softens naturally. And it's another aspect. I don't talk about too much. I'll talk about how we shift or how we make transitions on the exhales. And that's just because it's a safer way for the body to move. Again, the body just naturally reacts on or responds on the exhales where it just naturally softens, and so it makes it a safer proposition to make adjustments and to make shifts on the exhales. Okay, so there is some rhyme or reason. It's not just to keep our heart going when we go through a sun salutation and say, let's combine movement and breath, let's bring them both together. There's so many reasons to combine them, but that's just amongst the reasons to do so is it's safer to move our bodies on the exhales and safer to move that way. Let's release here on the exhale, see? All right, and bring that right ankle above that left knee, toes toward the shins, locks that knee into place. Hands to the side, little bend in that left knee. Good. Again, we can say right here, this is all the hip is feeling today, that's good, that's fine, that makes sense. Bring the eye of that elbow, wrap it around our right pinky toe, and the eye of the right elbow around the knee, and lock those fingers, and hang on to that leg as we sit tall and draw our heart closer to that leg, and you see me wrapping the left leg underneath in preparation for setting that baby down to sleep. Sitting tall, good stretch through the hips. Just one of the variations of pigeon that we're doing today. I think we're hitting like 4 of them today. Oh, it's always good to hit those hips, right? Am I right? Very nice. Let's go ahead and set that baby down on top of the leg. Make sure the right pinky toe is on the outside of that left knee. Okay, again, that knee can be right up here and just a little twist, Same idea. All right, and again, I like that block under my knee if you have something that resembles a block. And if not, just tune in. Just tune in and then breathe and exhale into this. Opening up that right hip now. I don't know if it's opening, but it's definitely stretching it. Sinking in, getting that deep, deep tissue stretch on our right hip. Take another couple breaths. Maybe find just a little bit more out of this posture for you. Crawling those fingertips forward. That's what I'm trying to do. And then on our next exhale, gently release. Okay. All right. Both feet forward, knees slightly bent. Let's find boat pose. Boat pose. You can start by grabbing behind those knees and lifting those heels up. We'll find that little balanced position on our tuchus there. Knees can stay bent, or you can lengthen the legs. Arms out nice and wide, or you can set them down to your side. Find that boat, nice tall posture, crown of our head through our tailbone, chin up off our chest, and breathe nice and evenly. Okay, find a good calm breath here, showing that you are in control of how you're positioning your body in this pose. My body's starting to shake a little bit. What's up with that? Who knows? All right, take an inhale and then exhale and rock it forward. Very nice. Good. Wrap those arms around those legs, seated child's pose. And then we're going to keep those arms around those legs, a little bound boats. Less about the core and more about the balance. Just lean back into it. Keep those arms interlocked and those fingers interlocked. Good. And then again, sit nice and tall. Sit nice and tall. From here, we're going to slowly come down onto our backs into a hollow hold or banana position. So begin releasing our arms and just slowly, hands overhead, come on down towards the ground. Good. Awesome. From here, draw those knees to our chest and wrap our arms around those legs into a ball. And we're going to a twist here. Release that left leg. Bring that left leg all the way down to the ground, heel to the ground. Take that left hand, bring it to the outside of the right knee, and draw the right knee across our body. Trying to keep both shoulder blades on the ground as we extend our right hand out to the side. Look at our right hand away from the direction our right knee is going. If you want to adjust a little bit, you can play around or experiment, not play around, by just lifting up those hips and trying to stack those hips perpendicular to the ground. You can also take that block and place it underneath your right knee where there's space between that knee and the ground, just to give you a little target to press into, like I was doing earlier in that seated pigeon. It's a nice stretch into our lower back. The outside of those hips, those deep glute muscles, everything connected. Great way to connect that breath. You can feel the deeper stretch. You can feel the softening in the stretch on the exhales. You can feel the lift much easier on the inhales here. This is one where it's really easy to feel the connection of the breath and the stretch. And a little snap, crackle, and pop on my spine right there. Okay. So we exhale, come back to center, knees to chest. Wrap those arms around, create that ball. Hanging onto the left leg this time. Let that right leg extend, heel to the ground. Right hand this time to the outside of that left leg. Draw that left leg across the body. Get maybe space or that block underneath the space of that left knee. Extend that left hand out and look at that left hand away from the direction our leg's going. And then use the breath to get more out of this stretch. We don't just get here and that's our final destination. This is a journey and it's a practice. It's not the final game. And so once we get here, then we start experimenting and discovering more. By lengthening out our right leg, lengthening of that longer, creating it perpendicular to that left, by breathing in and then exhaling and softening, seeing if we could feel a little bit more from this stretch. Let's take one more breath. Good. Let's exhale back, front and center. Knees to our chest. All right. Set both feet on the ground, knees bent. Knees bent, and take that left ankle and bring it above our right knee. Toes toward the shins on that left foot. We'll take those hands and shoot through that figure four gap, and then grab behind that right knee as we sit back. Sit back, draw that right knee towards the crown of our head, a little deeper stretch into our left hip as we press that left knee away from the crown of our head. So that left knee is going forward, trying to just maintain that hip being open just a little bit more. It's a little bit more gentle way to do a pigeon pose. And then we can set that right foot down on the ground, keep that right knee bent. Hands to the side of those hips, and we'll do a bridge while in pigeon. So just lift the hips up. Drop that left knee down even more. Just feel it soften down. And hold. Good. Think about that lower back. Lift those hips just a little bit more. Squeeze, breathe, and release. Let's hit the same thing, other side, left foot on the ground, right ankle above that left knee. Use those hands, shoot between that figure four, grab behind that left knee, draw that left knee towards the crown of our head. And press that right knee away from the crown of our head. Maybe even my right elbow, I can feel it on the inside of my leg. I'm pushing my right elbow into that leg just a little bit. And we're not trying to overdo anything. Trying to feel something, but not too much, right? That balance between nothing and too much. What's the middle? What's our middle ground? So we feel something here. It's a little bit gentle stretch on the hip. But then as we set that left foot down and then lift the hips up off the ground, we'll feel it even more on that right side. As we drop that right knee down, hands to the side, and lift. Okay, so it's still about that right side, but it's also about our lower back as we lift our hips even higher, just a little bit higher. That single leg bridge, press that left foot in. Feel perhaps a stretch through the hip and top of the quad. If we lift just a little bit more, and then exhale and release. Good. Let's finish with legs up the wall before we get to Shavasana. So if you have a block, that's great. I'm going to show a version where we don't have a block. We can take our hands, palms down to the ground, and just set our hands right under our hips. Go ahead and then just float our feet up, using those hands to support our back, but also just to prop our hips up as well. Okay, if you have that block, you go ahead and just lift your hips up like we're in two-leg pigeon. Set that block under the tailbone, and then float those hips up for restorative. Legs up the wall. Just relaxing, relaxing, releasing pose. The idea is to feel nothing here. It's the nothing pose. It's nothing asana. Feel nothing from this, and that's good. Let those feet relax. Those feet just float. Soft bend in those knees. Bringing our bodies back down into that restful state. This is one of those poses that helps to interact directly with our nervous system and help get our body even quicker into that restful state. An inversion pose, or any example of inversion, whether that's forward fold, headstand, shoulder stand, plow, Anytime the head's beneath the heart, it helps to regulate our heart rates, lower our heart rates, and help us relax just a little bit more. You're welcome to stay right here for a little bit longer, or begin finding our final relaxation Shavasana pose. You dim the lights and I'll guide us through as we get there. So make our way to Shavasana. Allow yourself to find the most comfortable spot that you can on your mat as we sprawl our bodies out and lengthen out. Not trying to force relaxation as opposed to trying to sink into it and settle into relaxation. So allow those legs to just extend out where they will. Allow those heels to find some rest and those feet to open naturally. Allow those arms to be beside your body and feeling the entire weight of those arms beside you, either resting on the ground or if you're in a seated position. Hands released, palms relaxed, and fingers not clenched into fists. Just open those palms up and relax and release. Our closing song, if you're following along, is called Ong Namo. Ong Namo. Okay. It's a beautiful song. So we continue to find our relaxation pose. Allow our bodies to feel 100% on the mats or the surface beneath us. Relaxing our glutes and relaxing our shoulders. Releasing any expression from our face as our cheeks relax. Our teeth have space between them and our jaws relax. Our breath is just a natural everyday breath, something that we don't have to think about or force. And if we find comfort in doing so, just relaxing the eyelids on the eyes. Find stillness of your body. Seek that stillness of your body to find more calm in our minds. When we find that stillness of both and that quiet of our minds, it allows us to reach in to feel the full extent and appreciation of our practice today. Allows you to find that gratitude of what you're able to do for yourself in this practice today. And the entire body has been engaged, the entire body has been touched, and you've done so in a way that made the most sense for you. So we moved our bodies gently, at times a little bit more rigorously, but always with the appropriate options and choices for where we were at. Using the opportunity to not judge what's going wrong, but to find appreciation for everything we have that's going right. Everything that we have to be grateful for during this time and during any time. Which leads right to our closing message. Rather than wandering around in problem-solving mode all day, thinking mainly about what we want to fix about ourselves, or fix about our life, or fix about what's just not going right in our world, it's an opportunity instead to perhaps take a pause. And just for a few minutes, take that pause and take the opportunity to just marvel at what's not broken, and marvel at what's going right. Marvel at just how much we have to be grateful for. The love and light in each of you as it's also within me. Namaste.